All right, guys, we're back for round 16's review for Supercoach 2023. Not too bad of a week, 26-20. Top 1%, that's what you want to see. Pretty good week, to be quite honest. A lot of big scores from players that aren't the most popular in the world. Moved up in rank over 1,000 spots. I'm thinking towards the end of the season, I should end somewhere between 1,200, 1,500 to 2,000. So say 1,500 to 2,000, round about there. Top 2% scorer. So what does that mean? Like I'm in the top 2% of all players? I think so. I think that's how that works. Yeah, hoping to finish at least in the top 1% of players, which I think is like top 2,000 anyway. Yeah, not too much on that screen. Get into it. This one will be pretty fast because, again, there's not really any trades to make. All the trades that left, the two of them, are just to cover injuries. Dacos was extremely good on the weekend. The Gold Coast game was so one-sided. Even the crowd was one-sided. It's so hard to get Collingwood tickets in Melbourne that people are like, all right, I'll just buy a Gold Coast membership for 3 games and go up there. Yeah, it's crazy how Collingwood are this year. But, kudos to them. They've had a couple of years down and they deserve a couple of years up. Stewart was also pretty good. Didn't catch heaps of this game because I thought it was super boring. And it ended up as a draw, which should have been a Sydney win. They just choked it heavy. But yeah, Stewart was good. Low scoring game that like everyone was inaccurate in is like perfect for him. Dawson, expected a bit better from him. Adelaide were kind of on it this week that they have to really put in a strong performance against North, which they did. It's 50 points there. This game felt like 100 points. It wasn't ever close. But yeah, expected a little bit better from Dawson and Laird this week, but yeah, they still won by heaps. So once you're up that much, it's probably safer for a team to just coast than keep trying hard because that's where injuries happen. Bailey Dale, so this is the week that he's finally played like a normal Bailey Dale game, it feels like, from last year. Heaps of kick-ins. He had basically all of them. I think it was like 5 or 6 to him and then like 1 to 2 to Caleb Daniel. Freo aren't the most accurate team in the world. And these two, like, he had the kick-ins against Port. So many clangers and just ineffective kicks. And I feel like it was kind of the same against North. Actually, that might have been flipped, but whatever. Will Day was pretty disappointing. Again, they have no Sicily, so they're playing him back. And the Hawks were just smashed in the first half. Like, it wasn't near close. I think they had 3 points at quarter time, 6 behinds at like halfway through the second. It wasn't close. So there wasn't much chance for him to do anything, but even in what he did, I thought he was pretty disappointing. Sicily would be great when he's back. It's interesting to see. It will be interesting to see what they do with Day because they have moved him back to cover for Sicily, like just as an extra live body in the back line. When Sicily comes back, I'm guessing Day has to move back into the midfield / wing role he was playing. I don't know how that's going to do for scoring because he wasn't scoring the best. Like this stretch here was not very good. We'll see what happens though. Sheasel was, I mean, like I said, North were under the pump the whole game. Wasn't really a chance for him to do anything. Plus, they were playing Keys as a forward defender, not necessarily tagging anyone. I think Fan Footy or something said he was tagging like Luke McDonald or something like that. Not really. If you watched a bit of the game, he was kind of just going as a defender in the forward line. He just jumped to whoever is most likely to get a touch and just hug them for that entire possession. So, yeah, kind of just a poor game from him. Poor game from North. Who they got this week? They have Geelong in Geelong. Might be another poor score, to be quite honest with you. But Geelong haven't been kicking the most accurate recently. So there could be a chance for a couple of behinds. If he gets a couple of kickouts, it might help. Just to wait and see on that one. I'd expect another pretty poor score from him this week. Midfield, Bont was pretty good, just not as good as he has been the last couple of weeks. This game, the scoreline says it was only 30, which is, how many goals? It's not that bad, 30 points. If you watched it, this game was way more of a blowout than 30 points. Dogs were in control from the start. So, surprised Bont didn't score much higher, but I guess, there's only so many points that go around. English was good, Dale was good, and I think Caleb Daniel was good as well. Merritt was insane. This was probably game of the I don't want to say game of the year. I feel like that was Adelaide and Collingwood last week. Maybe the fourth quarter of the year. I don't know. Merritt led the comeback for him. If Parrish didn't go 4 behinds, they probably would have won. But yeah, he got the big Dan Houston kick, which was insane. That ball must have been so water bloated and everything, and he still got 55 out of it. Yeah, a good game for Merritt. I think a couple of people would have had him captain. Can I see that from here? I don't think so. Yeah, it's not something I could see. But yeah, some people would have had him captain because it was probably not a terrible game for him. And if you went Dunkley here, then why not give it a shot? Petrarca, this could have been an easy 150 here. Same as Parrish. Parrish could have had a 150, but 4 behinds, not the most effective kick in the entire game. I think he still ended up over 30 touches and had his fair share of stats and everything. But heaps of touches, a couple of tackles in there. This is the 4 behinds. If he converted to say 2-2 or something like that, this would be a 150. Laird went over it before with Dawson. I just thought these guys were coasting, to be honest. I don't think it was necessarily bad games and Laird's done or anything like that. I think it was just they got up and they started coasting. There was not really a point to go in 110 against North when you are already beating them by 50, right? Who do Adelaide have this week? That's going to be... I'm guessing it's not at Adelaide. Yeah, Essendon at Marvel. That will be pretty fun to watch, to be honest with you, because Essendon will obviously want to beat them after the fourth quarter and game win last week. Adelaide, probably pretty upset that they couldn't win in Melbourne last time. Granted, this is Marvel, not the MCG. It's still in Melbourne. Neil, so I went with him vice captain. It was between him and Dunkley, but I just felt like against Richmond, Neil is kind of the guy that hurts them a bit more. I say all that, but it was really kind of just spur of the moment, put it on him. But yeah, he did great. Richmond did not. Richmond looked terrible that game. Brisbane didn't look that great. It was a big blowout win, but I don't know. I think Brisbane are still going to do a Brisbane once it comes finals. As soon as they cop a Melbourne game, I think they're just out of it, right? The can't win at the MCG thing is so mental for them. It's insane. But yeah, Neil's great. Dunkley's still a good player. It's just he kind of got subbed and missed a whole chunk of the game. If he played the fourth, the full way, I think he would have ended up on 130, which is a fine captain score. It is what it is. Brayshaw, I've said it 3 times already. Freo just weren't good on the day. I think Sarong had a big game, didn't he? So it's between them two. It's one or the other will have a big game. 138, pretty huge. Yeah, I wish this was Sarong, but yeah, it's too late now. I wish it was Libba. I think Libba would have been the best pick here. What did he have this week? 121. Yeah, I feel like this is been a minus 600 plus points pick here, going Brayshaw over Libba. And it was a week where I think I could have gotten to Libu if I didn't want to have so much coin in the bank. Tom Green was pretty good, honestly. I watched a fair bit of this game, the GWS Melbourne one, just because I thought the conditions were like pretty funny. Um, and I was working, so there was not really much else to do. Um, yeah, I thought he was good. I thought should have been better. Just couldn't really keep it up. What did Kelly actually end on? Josh Kelly. Because he looked alright in the first, and then, yeah, 93 kind of trailed off. I guess it's the conditions for a ball magnet, and not so much for like these like aggressive players like Cogs and Kelly and a couple others. Keys was great. So I spoke about it before, the forward defender role. He was really good on the day, I reckon. Only 3% CBAs is not good to see. I might try to quickly pull that up, see if I can. There. This loads up. Sweet. Go there. CBAs, Adelaide. So, round 16, we've got Ben Keys 3%. That's not good. But why was that? Rochelle had 50, whereas last week he had 0. He's pre this week probably only averaging like 30% CBAs, something like that. And then also Pedler came in and took a couple of them. So I'm hoping he moved Rochelle back into the forwards, and he's being good. Like, he's unironically, objectively a good midfielder, Ben Keys. Yeah, like there was a meme for a while that he's not good. Brisbane Ben Keys and kind of like first year at Adelaide Ben Keys wasn't good as a midfielder. Too aggressive on tackles, gave away so many frees and stuff like that. Just wasn't that good. Now he's objectively a very good midfielder. So I would play him in there, but I guess he's pretty good as a tagger as well. So you're going to get those games. But yeah, it is what it is. Johnson played, Sharp didn't, Constable didn't, Shinkotta basically didn't, and and then Marek was actually pretty good, considering they were trying to drop him, which I thought was ludicrous. English was very good, dominated Marshall and Jackson. I don't know, I can't remember what their split was between them two, but yeah, he beat both of them, so pretty good from him. And then Marshall was okay. I didn't actually take this; it was Neil's score I took. Yeah, Marshall's all right. I don't think he was really that great, considering is West Coast and Bailey Williams, who's probably still not scoring too bad, is he? Bailey J, yeah? What did he put up? 85, I guess, yeah, he wasn't great either. I don't even know. Callum Jameson play? No, it was, whatever, I can't be bothered. Yeah, considering it was West Coast, I expected a lot better from Marshall. And I thought this could have actually been a pretty good captaincy pick for some people that didn't get a Neil or a Merritt or anything like that. And, yeah, maybe didn't want to take a Bont. Dunkley was pretty good, but like I said, he got subbed off, whereas this would have been just his average, like 130. Taranto was pretty bad, but so were Richmond just throughout the day. Not too much in this. I think this is probably his lowest score of the season, right? Yeah, by far. Yeah, by about 20 points. Who they got? Because I feel like this might be a bounce back game for Richmond. Sydney at the MCG. This might be a V. Nah, you got to go Bont. Yeah, Bont VC at Marvel. But this isn't a terrible one if you want to go against the grain. Taranto, big game, kind of like prove yourself again game because they got smashed. Yeah, Gould and kind of same thing. So Sydney will have this will be a big game for both teams. Not try, I don't work for the AFL, so I'm not trying to hype up their games, but this will be actually a pretty big game for a Thursday night, considering Richmond aren't that good, and I mean Sydney's been on and off in terms of form. Both these guys are going to want to prove that their teams are good. Rosie was pretty goddamn good, to be honest with you. I think he had like a couple of goals, didn't he? I think he had 2. Was it 2? 3. Yeah, I only remember two of them. Between him and Butters, it's kind of like one's good, one's average for the week, and this week it was Rosie up. Cog spoke about him. Himmelberg is annoying, man. This guy had all the kick-ins. Let's have a look at his kick-ins. Kick-ins, I think he had 8. Let's have a look. GWS, Himmelberg, 8. 7 played on. So 7 of scoring, and he had like 8 clangers or something like that. He had so many, and they kept feeding him the ball as well. 20 kicks, 28 touches, 5 tackles. Nah, like he was just terrible. This should have been a 120. This should have been a 120 plus. Could have been even bigger, honestly. 20 kicks. It's not bad. But yeah, he was terrible on the day. Hoping he can pick it up. Hawthorn's pretty good for them at home. Should be all right for him. I reckon he'll score around about 100, I reckon. And then Marek kind of talked about it before. Finally, a West Coast game where we lost, which is absolutely fine, but I'm proud of them because they actually showed up for the game. And they're up for a fair bit as well, so it wasn't a complete stomping. One of the few games of the weekend that wasn't like terrible to watch. That was terrible. That was terrible. Both of these were bad. This wasn't amazing. This was probably the best of these 4. This one sucked. This one was like very, very, very good at the end. Throughout the game, not so much, but at the end it was pretty good. This one, terrible. This one, actually terrible because like the conditions and the game was so sloppy and everything. But yeah, so I'd say on the weekend it was really only like 3 good games, and West Coast were part of it, so I'll take it. But yeah, like I said, there's not really any trades to make this week, and yeah, so I'll just say vice captain then. I reckon I'm going to go Bont. 17. Bont against Collingwood. Collingwood's going to take up so many points, though. Maybe this is a trap. Maybe he's the play. Because he'll either go big or around here again. Like, he'll give me a score that's either I'll take it or go for the captain, right? Oh, actually, nah. Got to go. I'll go Neil for now. If Dunkley's playing, I'll go Dunkley. And then captain Dawson. I reckon Dawson. Yeah, I reckon that's fine. But yeah, let me know how your team's going. Buy rounds are done now, so basically every team's finished. I did see a couple of teams have like 15 mil team value, which is insane. I don't know. What's mine? It's probably like 14. Yeah, so almost like 2 extra premiums on top of me. But yeah, I'll see you all next time. Tasty out.